Hey everyone, I'm Chelsea from BuildBook Support, and today we're going to go over our Projects tab. Projects are arguably the most important part of BuildBook. They control all of the information. So if you can think of anything that's involved in a project, like your schedule, your tasks, your financials, your selections, all of that actually comes through and is encompassed by our projects. So it's all managed within projects. Now, although you can see information for different projects, the easiest way to access every single project that you have is by clicking on the project's main navigation, and then you'll be defaulted to this projects tab right here. There are other tabs available for you, so you'll be able to look at your templates or download any templates. You can see all of your archive projects. And then if you're invited to multiple projects, you can actually accept all of those invites at once by clicking on the Invites tab. To start, this is going to be the main projects dashboard for you. So this is going to show you every single one of your projects that you currently have. Now you'll notice that as I kind of scroll down to the bottom of the page, there is a load more option right here. Essentially what this page is designed to do is it's not going to show you every single one of your projects right off the bat. It's going to show you the first 5 in alphabetical order. Now, I like to actually work out of projects, either I like to work out of my favorites or I like to sort by last updated. Last updated allows me to see the projects that I'm working on the most in order to work through those really quickly, rather than having to sit here and load more to get the S's to show up. Additionally, I can always search for projects. So if I know that something is down there in the S's, and I want to search for it, I can literally just start typing in the name of the project and it will pop up right here. And then I can clear that search bar to return all of my project information. But that's kind of my favorite way of working through projects, especially with this like load more option. If you have a ton of projects that you're working through, load more is going to take you a little bit of time. Whereas there are those different types of options where you're able to search by last updated, search by the project name, or my favorite option is favoriting your most used projects. So for most of us or most of our pros, we could be working on up to 10 projects at a time. And in that case, it's really nice to favorite those projects so that they show up as tiles right here. Additional favorited projects are going to show up on your mobile app as favorited projects on the dashboard, which makes it really easy for you to jump into projects that you're constantly working on. In order to create a favorited project, all you're going to do is select the star next to the name. Or additionally, you can always just go through and click on the little ellipsis menu right next to the project's invitees or people, and then click on Add to Favorites right here. Now, the amount of projects that you can add here really doesn't have an amount. So you'll notice I'm just going through and favoriting a ton of projects. But obviously, one of the things that you'll want to kind of take into consideration is that as you begin adding all of these projects up here to the favorites, it's going to essentially push that list down even further. And so again, if you're constantly adding in new favorited projects, you're not going to necessarily have a specific amount that you can have here, but just, take into consideration that it's kind of pushing that list down to the bottom of the page right here as I begin adding projects and things like that. If you ever want to unfavorite something, you can just again click on the little star right next to the name. So we can unfavorite the duck project. Or additionally, you can really quickly go through and unfavorite the project by clicking on its ellipsis menu right here and clicking on remove from favorites. This option is also available in this ellipsis menu, but usually most people are working on these particular projects at one time, and so they need to control that. You'll also see the option in the ellipsis menu to create a template. So although you are able to download some of our templates from our template gallery, what you'll notice is that this does not give you the ability to create those templates. Templates are either downloaded from our template gallery, so you can grab the new construction, the bathroom remodel, the kitchen remodel, and adjust those as you need to. Or you can create templates from already created projects. So if you go back to your projects right here, You can then go to any type of your project and click on Create a Template. Now, when you do this, it's going to essentially take you to the template. So just like this, it's going to take you to the template so that then you can simply start adjusting information. You can start moving information around. And one of the things about this process is it does take a little bit of time. So if you see this page loading and loading and loading, that's pretty typical. Essentially, what it's doing is it's tried to copy everything over from your project, but remove information. So it's going to try to remove all of the comments, the assignees, the chats, all of that kind of information. And so at this point, it might take a little while depending on how much you have. I had quite a bit in there. So of course, you'll notice that it took some time. And then of course you can customize your template as needed. So you can work these just like projects essentially. You can add or finagle in information. And then when you're ready, you can start a new project from the template, or you can essentially create a project using that template that I'll show you in just a second. Archive projects are going to be what we consider closed projects. So instead of showing up here on your projects page or here on your dashboard for tasks and things that are overdue, all I have to do really quickly is go through and actually archive my project. So for any of the projects that I am currently not working on, I can click on my ellipsis menu and I can archive the project. This is going to push that project into my archived right here. And of course you have the exact same thing. So you'll have a load more option. And then you have also the ability to search for that project here. If you ever want to unarchive a project or bring it back into active status, you can click here on the ellipsis menu and click on unarchive project right here. And that will allow you to unarchive the project so it becomes active again. Archive projects are basically your closed projects in a sense. So these are projects that have finished, but maybe you don't want to really quickly delete out of the system quite yet because you might need more information. Archived is a really great option. And then of course, like I said, if you have multiple invites to multiple different projects, this invites tab will actually allow you to accept all of those invites in one place without having to go to each project or do anything like that. Now to create a project, you're going to click on new project right here. And there are two things that you can do when you create a project. So first of all, you can either choose an opportunity here, like so, and use an estimate. So if there's an estimate added to this particular opportunity, it will select it for you. Here's a great example where we have version 1, it's approved. Otherwise, if it doesn't have an opportunity or that the estimate of that opportunity is currently in draft, it will say convert without an estimate. If there is no opportunity for that project, then it just won't even allow you to select it from the page right here. When you're creating a project, you'll have the ability to recreate the name. You'll add the project address, which is totally optional. You can decide to do this or you can decide to not do this. For things like invoices and change orders, this project address isn't totally necessary. We actually use the address that is currently within your client's profile for things like change orders and invoices. So if you don't want to add this, that's why it's optional for you. Then you'll have the ability to add a project type, and this is customizable. So you can literally just start typing anything you want to in here and click on create, and then it will allow you to use that for next time. You'll be able to select your working days. So this is the days that you currently work. I don't work Saturday and Sunday, so I would close those off from my schedule, essentially graying them out so that my team members and my clients know that I'm not working Saturdays and Sundays. And then here's where you can choose a project template. So you can either choose a template that you have created from other projects or you've downloaded from us, or you can always use any of your active projects as a project template. So if you have a project that is incredibly similar to this one, or you just completed a project that was incredibly similar to this one, this projects will allow you to select any of the active projects originally to essentially pull over. So it's going to pull over the exact same information. It'll pull over the schedule, the tasks, the budget, selections, files, and assignees. Now, one of the things that you'll notice is that if you try to convert something over with an estimate, it's automatically going to gray these out. And that's because our budget and selection items actually come from the estimate. So when you create an estimate, what we're carrying over from there is the financial information. And because of that, the budget and selections are financial information, and you won't be able to carry it over from that template at all. And then, of course, you'll have the option to change your start date of the project. So if, for example, this template started, I've been reusing this template over and over for like the last year, I can change the start date of this particular project so that when I create it, I'm not having to push the whole entire schedule back a year. And then once I'm ready, I'll just click on create project and it will create that project for me with this type of information already added to it. The other option that you have is if you are using our estimates, then all you have to do is go to your opportunities. You can go to any opportunity here. So we'll click here and you can convert this to a project. Now, if your opportunity is already converted to a project, you'll notice that there will be something right here that says convert to a project, and you'll be missing the button right here. But if it's not already added as a project, you'll see a convert to project button right here, as well as an estimate when you create it. There will be a little ellipsis menu. Here's another really good, as you can see, I have a lot of them that I have already moved over to projects. Okay, here's a good one. Okay, so again, I have this convert to project option, which will bring up the exact same screen that I have. And as you'll notice, it defaulted to the approved estimate. So I may have different types of estimates in here, but it defaulted to the approved one. And it will allow me to use the exact same things here in order to create the project. So I can literally choose a sample. I can change the due dates and things like that. Or I can also do this exact same thing from the estimate. You'll see a convert to project right here when it's approved. Or you'll also see an ellipsis menu that allows you to convert it to the project. And that will carry over that financial estimate information right here into the project so that you're not having to recreate that all over again. So hopefully that goes through everything that you need to know about projects. But as always, if you need any help, feel free to click on this question mark help icon, and happy building.